Hey everybody, this is Lee Warner. Today we are going to take the second mode of the minor pentatonic scale and we're going to add a major third to it. If you saw the last video you'd know why, but if not you may be asking, why are we adding a major third to a minor pentatonic scale and how does that work? How does that make sense? Well, the idea is if you're playing the A minor pentatonic scale over an A dominant chord, A7, well the A7 has a major triad. That's the foundation of the chord, meaning you don't really want to milk, or I should say you really don't want to milk that flat third. Instead you want to play the major third. So just a brief review of the shape before adding the third. Okay, if that looks new to you, check out the older video in the playlist. Now adding the third to it. The first one is the first string is actually where we're going to add it. It'll be the 9th fret. Okay, and then we continue as before. So far we have this. Continuing as usual. But now we got to go up a fret. That's the third again, the octave from the first one we did. You can do these by just moving your pinky, or big stretch, your ring finger and pinky, or by bending. It's a lot more common. And then the next string looks just as it used to. So those two strings. I'll show you a little variation before we go on. Instead of doing that bend, or just moving your finger, you can actually play that on the G string, kind of borrowing from the previous shape. And that's pretty cool too. After that, the B string looks just as it used to, and the high E string will look just as the low E string, which is always the case here. Okay, now keep in mind, this is over a dominant chord, an A dominant chord, A7. And that means that we don't really want to milk the 4. Okay, if you don't already know this, kind of take my word for it. It feels weird saying that on the internet. Hey, I'm a guy on the internet, just take my word for it. But, well, here's the reasoning. The 4 is a half step away, meaning the closest distance we can do on a guitar, or a piano for that matter, or whatever, fretted instrument as we are. We can only do a half step, and a 4 being a half step away from the third, so close together that it's clashing, okay? And then right below our third is the flat third, which is part of this minor pentatonic scale, and we don't want to hang out on that either, because that's also a half step below, rather than above, as the 4 was, the chord tone, and that'll be really tense. That one will be especially tense because the flat third is a chord tone of a minor chord, and we are playing a dominant chord which has a major chord in its foundation. So when you do play, you're going to find over a dominant chord, it's going to sound better when you land on the major third and pass through the minor third. Okay? That's different than before when you were doing a minor pentatonic scale on a minor chord where we weren't even playing the major third. Just landing on and hanging out on that minor third, that flat third on the minor chord, sounded really nice. Well, over a dominant chord, it's going to sound not so nice. But the cool way to solve that is, of course, bending up to it. That'd be a bluesy thing, or you can slide and all that stuff. Anyways, I think you get the picture. Just go to town on that, and when you feel ready, check out the next video in this playlist, and we're going to be learning the next pattern with the adding the major third. Until then, happy practicing.